Thank you. Data versus stories, the scientists versus the artists, Einstein versus Monet. It's a fight to the death, and who will win? This is a question that David Weldon, the CMO of Barclays Retail, posed recently at the Festival of Media. And the issue of creativity versus data is one that's close to my heart and a key topic of conversation at LinkedIn that we have with our customers on a daily basis. Gartner forecasts that in 2017, the CMO will spend more on IT than the CIO. And although the ratio used to be 80% creative, 20% data, in the last couple of years, we've seen a seismic shift towards more data-driven marketing decisions. And that ratio has now flipped to more the reverse, which is 20/80. Conversely, one of the world's largest and some would argue most successful marketers, Unilever, recently announced a reinvention of their marketing strategy. As they say, more magic, less logic. Specifically rewarding marketers who take risks in their creative approach. So who is right? That's what I want to talk to you about today. And over the next few minutes, really focus on three key areas. Firstly, how is big data changing the marketing landscape? Secondly, what does this mean for creativity and how it evolves? And finally, what's LinkedIn's perspective on that perfect balance between the two? So firstly, let's talk about big data. Mark Hurd, the ex-CEO of HP, said that more data is going to be created in the next 4 years than at any other time in the history of the planet. It's a pretty impressive stat and fundamentally changes the way that we take decisions. Harvard's social science director calls this a revolution. Bain referred to the impact of data on closed-loop marketing as the holy grail. With sophisticated technology and analytics, marketers can now link their spending on customer acquisition to downstream customer actions. Social networks like LinkedIn are providing a new source of demographic data and targeting capabilities. This level of understanding and sophistication around data on LinkedIn has helped us work with brands like Cathay Pacific to segment and target business travelers who regularly fly between Asia Pacific and the US. We can do this in a number of ways. We can look at members who are participating in groups like the China Networking Group, or using our data, we can look at all our members in the US, we can look at all our members in Asia Pacific, we can look at the members who are connected with one another, and then make valid assumptions around their propensity to travel between the two markets. So at this stage, I thought it would be quite fun to share with you a couple of examples of how data can really be beautiful. So who's on LinkedIn today? Can you just put your hand up? Delighted. So for those of you on LinkedIn, this is an in-map. This is actually my personal in-map. My name's in the middle of it. But it's a visual representation of your network on LinkedIn, of your professional network. It's clustered by various different colors, which are commonalities in your network. The larger the nodes, the more influential that individual in your professional network. For everyone who just put up your hand, you can Google search in-maps in LinkedIn, and you can create your own personal in-map. Next up, the wonders of the Facebook breakup graph. If you're in a relationship, by all accounts, you should get a little nervous just before Christmas. And finally, an incredibly compelling story about, of all things, morbidity rates from Professor Hans Rosling. Can we play the video?
Here come all the countries. Europe brown, Asia red, Middle East green, Africa south of Sahara blue, and the Americas yellow. And the size of the country bubbles show the size of the population. And in 1810, it was pretty crowded down there, wasn't it? All countries were sick and poor. Life expectancy were below 40 in all countries. And only UK and the Netherlands were slightly better off, but not much. And now, why start the world? The Industrial Revolution makes countries in Europe and elsewhere move away from the rest. But the colonized countries in Asia and Africa, they are stuck down there. And eventually, the Western countries get healthier and healthier. And now we slow down to show the impact of the First World War and the Spanish flu epidemic. What a catastrophe! And now I speed up through the 1920s and the 1930s. And in spite of the Great Depression, Western countries forge on towards greater wealth.
So who would have thought that you could create such great visualizations around your career, your relationships, and in this case, death? So data is critical and should underpin the marketing decision-making process. I think many of us are agreed on that. But what does it mean for creativity and how it evolves? I would argue that creativity today is more important than ever. To cut through what has become an increasingly disillusioned and somewhat cynical audience, brands are having to stretch themselves even further to establish and maintain a real emotional connection with their customers. Today, relationships really matter. Look at Apple. Apple is a company that recognizes the tremendous value of data in terms of targeting and serving up recommendations on their iTunes platform, but at the same time opt for simple, beautiful, and almost tactile creative when marketing their products. An example closer to home is a brave and creative first from KLM, who are offering their customers the ability to opt in and choose who they sit next to on the plane based on their Facebook and LinkedIn profiles. Can we play the video?
KLM Meet and Seat. A new service to see who else is on board well before departure of your intercontinental flight. Simply connect with your LinkedIn or Facebook account to view other passengers' profiles. Get in touch with interesting people. Meet in reality at the airport. Or during the flight. With Meet and Seat, you can meet other travelers.
Okay, I think people get the gist. We can pause it. So what's LinkedIn's perspective on all of this? We're a company built on data. We've got the data of over 150 million professionals around the globe. We are the professional graph. Our data is accurate, trustworthy, and actionable. Our data helps our customers engage with our members on a daily basis. And as a company, we challenge ourselves every day to understand how we can use our data to deliver on our company mission, which is to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. From a product standpoint, our goal is to make simple, beautiful, yet functional products. As an example of that, the way that we mine our data and we look at mobile usage, how people are using mobile, where they're using it, why they're using it, the type of content they're engaging with on mobile, helped us successfully release a killer iPad into the market last week. It also helped Philips, through niche targeting, establish a sustainable relationship with a particularly hard-to-reach community of healthcare professionals within the field of radiology, oncology, and cardiology. 55,000 of them to be precise. And we're doing this on a daily basis with companies like HP looking to build communities in the SME space, and tomorrow launching a group with Orange targeting CIOs and CTOs in the UK. So in summary, the route to success is getting the two to work together. Use the data to inform your ideas, to segment and discover who your customers are, and then creativity remains as important as ever in determining the most effective way to build an emotional connection with your customers. Once you communicate and engage with that audience, use data to help define or refine, tweak, and measure the outcomes. So data versus stories, the scientist versus the artist, Einstein versus Monet. It's not a fight to the death, that's a fallacy. We should take inspiration from Da Vinci, who managed to create beautiful art underpinned by some of the most earliest and most robust science on the planet. So our ask of you, our media agencies, our creative agencies, our clients, our partners, is not to sort of lose the art, but to take advantage of the science and partner with us to use our data to deliver solutions whereby together we can find that perfect hybrid between data and creativity. Thank you.